Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Expert Division in the Tropic Kings Tournament. The video is sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, so let's go. We're gonna start with hole number 1. We do have a wind left to right with a little bit of tailwind. I'm still going to use max side spin to the right. I'm gonna use 1.5 bar topspin here. And you don't need to use topspin if you don't want to, but I like to use 1.5, 2 bars depending on the wind angle and also the strength. But I'm not going to go with any curl. 10% extra from the position we are in, and then the ball is gonna bounce here on the platform, coming over, going rolling up, getting like to this spot very nicely. Before I take my second shot, if you do want to get updated text guides, or maybe you want personalized text guide for a specific tour in the game, then you can sign up on patreon.com/golfclashtommy. Also, you can find the timestamp for this playthrough in the video description down below. So, now we do have our opponent playing with Apocalypse level 5. And, you know, Apocalypse level 5, same type of play. There is going to be players trying to bounce on this fairway island in the center of the water, trying to get over to the final part of the fairway. I'm not going to recommend that in any form, as it is very common that people going into the water, because you do need a lot of curl, and curl is going to change everything, and that's going to be super tough. So use the left side. From the left side we're going to have a straight shot with straight tailwind or almost straight tailwind, and therefore this approach shot is actually going to be a very good chance for us to make an eagle. This is going to be a big bonus if we can get this one in the hole, as we are, what can I say? We will never expect this one to get in the hole, because it's a very tough approach to do here. We're in max distance. We're going to over adjust 10%. So max numbers with a 10% extra, which is 1 to 1 plus 1. So 7.2 plus 1 means 8.2 rings. Couple of bars side spin to the right, 4 bars backspin, and you play with the adjustment that you feel comfortable with. I slightly miss it to the left. Distance wise, perfect, but in terms of like direction, it wasn't super. Hole number 2. Here we're going to play with a quarterback. If you do have it in as minimum level 9. If you do not have it in level 9, then you're gonna play with a rocket. And the reason being is that we do want backspin. Sure, if you do have a Thor Sammer level 5, 6, 7, you can play with that club as well. That's up to you to decide which one you feel the most comfortable with. I like to play with the quarterback due to the better accuracy, the better ball guideline, to help myself with adjustment here. And the only thing I'm focusing on here is not really to get this ball in the hole. Sure, it is a possibility, but I would call that it's a good shot, of course, but with a big portion of luck, because there is a big inconsistency playing for the fairway just before the green there. So we are going to change. We're gonna play with the quarterback and going over max backspin and 3 bar side spin am I using, and I'm gonna aim for the bottom part of the fairway, trying to get myself a good way here, a good spot to bounce on. In this position here though, is that I'm going to play this one in minimum distance of my club, and I'm going to play the minimum distance, and once I do that, getting to 7 rings, then I'm going to have to turn it around and push my target up 1 ring. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to lose distance going from a higher point to a lower point. So that push up there is gonna be absolutely crucial, because otherwise we're most likely gonna go short. Now came in with a very weird bounce, but still will get on there and gonna have a safe birdie. Hole number 3, 10% extra for the drive. We're gonna drive directly over to the fairway island. I'm going to show you one shot with the extra mile here, which is a more conservative play, going over with some slight overpower, using backspin to then leave ourselves up with a sniper shot towards the pin. If you do want to go and bounce on the fairway island inside the water there instead, then you do that. But I feel when the wind is so strong here for us, then we can just go directly over instead, try and take away the risk moment in bouncing on that island, because we can hit great left, great right. If we're just using enough side spin to the right, we're still gonna have no problem whatsoever to reach over there directly, and let alone having the ball to stay there. For the second shot now we do have an open shot, straight tailwind with a sniper. It couldn't be a better opportunity with a sniper. So now it's only to get this one dialed in, get the yardage right, get the spin adjustment right, and then you're gonna have this one in the bag. This is going to be a very nice extra, and I believe there is going to be a bunch of albatrosses here. And you know, now when I'm so far up, I'm having the Goliath, so I would definitely want to trade going like lower down on the fairway to then have a sniper to have a better ball guideline, because now I kind of have to eyeball it a little bit. Will it slightly go to the right of the pin? Will it go to the left of the pin? And I feel in the end here that I kind of touched it to move slightly to the right of the pin there. Once again, hard to see, but that's at least what my feeling tells me now when I'm watching this video once again afterwards. Maximum distance, no over or under adjustments, 2 bars backspin, and we're gonna be close. And you know, another day that would have been dropped. Then that would drop for us. Now you can see I'm having an Apocalypse level 7, but to display this in the best way possible, I'm going to use 6 bars topspin to be more as a lower level Apocalypse, level 5, level 6. Because I do not suggest you to play this shot without having an Apocalypse level 5 or level 6 or a Thor Sama level 6 or 7. I'm going with 3/4 of a ball outside, not max overpower with an 11.5. If I would be having 11 or less, then I would be going with max overpower. But now I wouldn't, because otherwise we're gonna be into the water. We get it to bounce there, we get it to roll, and then we're gonna roll and be lucky to roll all the way through the rough. And this chance is going to be super big albatross attempt. The reason, you know, I'm having an Apocalypse of 7 is because I do not have a lower level Apocalypse, but I'm using the side spin to compensate for a lower level. Now, rough bump time, hole number 4. Oh my god, it's going quick here now. Max distance with a 10% extra for the rough bump. I'm using as much side spin to the left possible, combined with 6.5 bar topspin with my Goliath. You can see here we're coming in very nicely, and with a little bit more topspin, the ball wouldn't be falling to the right there in the end, then we would be rolling up towards the pin. So the thing is that you do want to do is to use enough topspin so you can see the ball guideline going around half a square through the hole, or like through the pin, through the hole, or whatever you want to call it, and then take your shot from there. And the rough bump here, the reason I feel that the rough bump is going to be the best way to play is because I do want to try to stay away from having special balls. And with special balls, I mean balls that you can only get by buying. Kingmakers you can win, you can get in free chests and stuff like that, and also in regular chests, of course. But having an Oceania ball here, wind resistance 5, side spin 3, will definitely allow you to play with the Guardian if you play it directly on the green. Not like our opponent is doing, but if you play it directly on the green, it's going to allow you to use max backspin, then you're going to have a good chance dropping that one as well. But I like the rough bump a lot. So I think that's definitely going to be the play if you're going to play with normal ball like Kingmaker, Katanas. Make sure that you do have a side spin 3 ball. You do need a side spin. Hole number 5, 10% extra for the drive here as well. And now we're gonna go directly over to the fairway. We're gonna do like hole number 3. Why bother when we do have this good tailwind? Why bother bouncing over the water when we can risk minimize it by using overpower, using curl, and also side spin. I'm using 4, and I click backspin, which is the maximum side spin I can have on the extra mile here, combined with as much side spin to the left possible, aiming up at the beginning of the fairway, and using like maximum curl to the right with the extra mile level 8, and then go with not max overpower but around 75%, and then we're gonna get it over. We do want to be shorter than I were, because now I'm gonna have the trees in my way, but it's not gonna be a problem for me to reach for the green, but it's gonna be a problem for me to see the ball guideline. So that's something to just have in mind. This is not by any means in my world an albatross hole. It's going to be an eagle hole 99% of the time, and then maybe the last percentage you're gonna get that drop. But you can see we do have the trees in our way, and therefore we need to aim to the right. But I'm gonna do a trick here that you can do when you do have a crosswind that is gonna push you in there. You can see that I'm trying to estimate where my ball guideline is gonna be without a ball guideline. That's tough. And then I'm gonna adjust my my rings here. I'm gonna play 1-1, which is 9.1 rings. You can see here my ball guideline is magically appearing again. But that means that I'm pulling myself out from the tree area, and then I don't need to go with any curl because I'm still gonna push it past it. And the reason I can do that is because I'm using as much side spin as I'm doing. Now I'm not really close, but in the end it's a safe eagle, and the problem that lie there for me was of course that I couldn't really see the ball guideline. Okay, 7.9 with a slight amount of crosswind. Here, if you do have a power 4 ball, I would say this is the time to use it. And power 4 ball, I don't mean a power 4 ball with less wind resistance, I mean power 4 ball with as minimum as wind resistance 3 to get over there. Now I'm a little bit lucky because I bounce in the rough and roll out. I'm using 3 bars backspin, max overpower, max curl to the right, adjusting for max numbers with a 10% extra. A lot of max, but that's the way that I got over there to the fringe, and that's gonna give myself an easy eagle. If you do not feel confident doing so, then you can go straight down to the right, just straight down there, and then you're gonna have a straight wind approach with your thorn or your hornet, or if you play with a claw or any other short iron that you may have. Our opponent's a little bit unlucky there, and this rough iron is very tough often, and you cannot rely on that roll going down there. It's often going to be a very tricky one. So it is a very aggressive line to go on the left. Those people that do have an Apocalypse level 5, 6, 7 is going to have an advantage having 6 yards extra to go with, or 4 yards extra, which the difference is here. But also, once again, if you can, play with a power 4 ball. I'm not saying that you should be spending a bunch of those, but here it could be good. It's a nice way to getting over. If you do not feel that you will get it over, then you play on the right side. Maybe I can stretch it for you to use 2.5 bar backspin, but have in mind that that could put you in the bunker past the pin there on the other side. Hole number 7, now we're going to use the same type of structure that we did in Pro, if anyone have watched that video. As much side spin to the left possible, using 5.5 bar backspin, second bounce before the fringe. And then we're gonna adjust 1-1, so 9.1 rings. And then in the end, we're gonna go with some curl. Go with curl. You can see here we're going with approximately 1.25 ball of curl. And you can see here as well that we're gonna come in too much here. There's 2 things that makes this come in much. We used as exact amount of curl that we did in Pro, and then we missed on the right side. But that was because we used more backspin in Pro, and therefore the ball didn't have enough side spin on that scenario. Here we're using more side spin because we're using less backspin, and therefore we're going to be pushed to the left. So here we need to use approximately 1 ball of curl to the left with that type of adjustment to be spot on. Still keep on the same, 1-1 adjustment, 5.5 bar backspin, and as much side spin to the left that you possibly can. And also, if you play with a different club than the sniper, this is a downhill approach shot, so you have to adjust 10% extra with medium distance. Here, hole number 8, and here the trick for me here is to stay away from being in between clubs. I have a tendency to get in between clubs with this type of shot here. I would like you to play with an extra mile here because of the headwind. I did think that the quarterback could be a possibility because I wanted to play with a power 2 ball. But I kind of want to play with a power 1 ball instead, because that will help me staying away from in between clubs when going for approach. We're gonna get there. 10% extra with the quarterback is gonna be slightly more than 10 rings. Then we're gonna be curling a little bit and a little bit of overpower. I had to rush it there in the end. Slight great left there wasn't really the best, so that's gonna push me a little bit more to the left than I wanted to. And now from this spot here, I'm going to be in between clubs in a way that I don't like. Still gonna be a possibility to get it to drop, but it's still not in a position that I do like. And you maybe wonder, why do I not go straight forward? Why do I not try to get to the top left or top right with my drive? Due to the risk there. You know, if you do go short in the rough on the left or in the rough to the right, you will not be able to reach with your Nirvana in many of the cases. If you do get where our opponent is, then you can absolutely reach. That's no problem. But we in the end want to have an opportunity, and that is, in my opinion, the best way to get that every single time is to play it out to the right and make sure that you pick it in ball that you're gonna make sure that you're not gonna be in between clubs. A power 1 ball here would have been perfect, but you can see here we're just turning over to the sniper just after the rough, and that's kind of like, I don't want to do that. 5 bars of top spin, trying to use a lower starting point with my Goliath, so I'm not gonna put myself in between clubs, but that's tough, you know, and I want to aim just by the start of the rough, and therefore, you know, a sniper approach here would be absolutely excellent. When it comes to the adjustment here for the rough bump, even though this one is not the ultimate situation with spin and stuff, see we're going in between clubs there anyway, so I need to use a little bit of overpower, is that you're going to play it 0, so you're not gonna add or subtract anything. Now you can see I'm getting kind of close, but in the end it's all about the ball there to kind of get ourselves in a way, so we're not gonna have a problem. Now hold number 9, I'm going to try myself on a hook shot. And I'm going to use the XMI level 8, which is a club that is definitely a possibility. Having an XMI level 7 would be a little bit risky, but absolutely possible to get through the rough there still. Power 5 ball, and I would say a Titan here would be enough. Or maybe I would say like a power 4 ball, like a blue marble ball or something like that. I'm using max curl, but I'm using only 50% overpower. That's why I feel that a Titan could be good here if using max overpower. You can see we're getting a nice bounce here. Look how much this rolls. We roll, and we roll even down into the sand. Not the best situation here though, but we get it over. And in the end, we could play a more conservative way, going to lay up there at the beginning, but when we do have this amount of tailwind, we do need to use it, in my opinion, and pull out one of those berserker balls that you hopefully have been getting from a golden shot or two, and play yourself with a hook shot, or if you do have an apocalypse, then you can play just a normal max curl shot, because you're still going to have no problem with the max curl on apocalypse. Problem is with the extra mile is that we do not have that much curl, and that's gonna be a very tough one. Our opponent's going with a maul in here, and haven't watched his shot afterwards. But you can see you do have way more curl with the Marlin. You know, it's a nice try, but in the end it's going to be tough. So a hook shot is so dependent on what club you're using. And then in the end, I like to use a berserker ball in terms of also that, let's say you're going to miss like I did here. And now I'm not going to have any problems to reach for the green with the berserker ball. But look how hard this shot is going to be. So I would suggest that here, if you do have a Houdini as a sandwich, pick that one. If you do have an Amazon as a rough iron, pick that one. If you do have a Saturn or a Tsunami as a long iron, pick those. Pick one of them. Then you're gonna have backspin, 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 and make sure that even if the drive isn't going as you planned, then you're still gonna be able to reach and not having to do this very technical shot with your sandwich like I'm doing here. Ladies and gentlemen, playthrough for expert, I do say thank you to each and every one of you that has been watching. I hope it's going to help with your game, and also with your gameplay in the tournament. If you do have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below. And once again, if you do want to get the updated text guides, patreon.com/golf-tommy, link in the video description as well. If you like the video, take your time, hit thumbs up. Before you go, video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Good luck in the Tropic Kings Tournament.